Welcome back, everyone. We have Matt Wolkins from Future Solutions here with us again. Matt and I are going to go over SolarFlex Outlast Extreme, also known as SolarFlex 1320 IL. What is the IL? Inverted lithium batteries. Before we dive in, we get asked this question all the time. Matt, tell us why an owner would want this much solar and how they would use it.
The great thing about this camper is it comes fully equipped, giving you access to all your appliances, all the power you need, regardless of whether you're plugged in or not. You can use this unit as if it's plugged in if you're out in the wilderness, if you're in a campground, if you just want to go boondocking.
Okay, let's go ahead and review the components of this system and the way they work. So strap in and off we go.
Up on the roof we have 6 220 watt solar panels. We also have 2 soft start air conditioners. Power for the panels is transferred through 2 Victron 50 amp charge controllers. We also have a 3 kilowatt Victron Multi+2 inverter. Now that inverter is powered by 2 Dragonfly GC3 batteries, and you can monitor that through the Victron Smart Shunt via the Serbo S or the Victron GX Touch 5-inch display. Everything is available on the Victron Connect app, so you can monitor this when you have Wi-Fi and you're not even at the coach. And the entire coach is inverted, which means you have 25 amps of power whenever you need it to run your microwave, your air conditioner, any other devices that you have. Just you make good decisions with that energy. Now that we've gone over the components, let's walk Casey through all the steps she needs to get this system up and running.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Casey.
So you know that I am new to this entire industry and everything. So walk me through, I just took delivery of this beautiful RV. Walk me through what I need to do to get everything set up at the campground.
Sure. So the first thing you're going to want to do is turn on the disconnect over there on the right. That's your 12-volt power to the inside of the camper. Next, you'll want to turn on that inverter disconnect up at the top, and then turn on your inverter. There's a little switch on the side there. And then your solar disconnects. So those connect power from the solar panels to the chargers that are in the system. So you want to turn those on so you get use of your solar.
Both of them?
Yep. Okay. And you want to make sure you hear the click on all of those. You don't want to turn them partially on. You want to make sure that they're actually clicked and locked on.
Okay. So now that I'm at the campground and I've got all of this, thank you for showing me, what do I need to do if I start to run in and something's not working?
So usually when something's not operating, it's a disconnect that hasn't been turned fully on. There is a switch on the inverter here on the side that if you push it down, it acts as a charger only. So if you're not getting any AC power, none of your appliances are working inside, make sure that you haven't switched that the wrong direction. Make sure it's pointed up so you get your AC power.
Okay.
Other than that, there's not much here to mess with besides the disconnects.
Okay. And if I'm moving around and I thought I turned it on a couple of days ago?
Always just come back and check it. Yeah, I would. There's a lot of components. It's a moving house, so you want to make sure that everything stays on.
Okay, great. Now, I'm getting ready and packing everything up. What are the steps to turn everything off?
So let's say we're going to put it in storage. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to want to turn off the inverter, because you don't want to leave the inverter on because it'll draw power while it's sitting there.
Okay.
Then you'll turn off the inverter disconnect. Now, if it's in covered storage where you're not using the solar, you'll turn your solar disconnects off. If it's out in the sun, if you're stored in the open air out in the sun or just beside your house or something like that, leave your solar disconnects on. That way you're getting charged to the batteries.
That's great to know.
And then next you'll want to shut off, when you're finally done with everything, you'll want to turn off your 12-volt disconnect over there.
Just power off or remove cover?
Just power off.
Okay.
Make sure it clicks, and that will kill all the parasitic loads and all the draws that you have inside the camper. So right now you're set up and you're ready to store it.
Okay. Is there anything, if I turn it off in the wrong order, is there anything that...
No, the only issue you may have is if you forget to turn one of the disconnects on, turning them on in any order. Obviously, if the inverter disconnect isn't on, there's no battery power, so the inverter won't fire up until you switch that disconnect.
Thanks again, Matt, for everything, for showing me. I think this is pretty simple, but I believe there's a little bit more to it. So.
Yeah, that wraps up everything up in the front storage compartment. So let's go inside and look at the touchscreen.
Okay, great.
Now that we're inside, we've got access to all the information we need about our coach. I've got my shore power here. I've got the AC loads, which is how much power we're running. So if you turn on the fireplace right now, you'll see the AC loads jump up probably another 1,500 watts, I would say. And this gives us access to all the information we need about our camper. So in the upper left-hand corner, we have shore power. That means the power coming in from the utility pole. This is our inverter. It tells us it's absorbed charging. And here's our AC loads. This is the power our appliances are running. So if we turn the fireplace on, you're going to see this change. So what it's going to do is it's going to pick up how much power the fireplace is using. So you see it jump to 1,400 watts. So we're using about 1,200 watts of power from the fireplace. If I were to turn on the microwave or turn on any of the air conditioners, that number will be displayed here, the power that they use. Down here we have our battery state. Now we're plugged in, so our batteries are fully charged, so we're at 100%. But you can see the little lines moving, telling you power's coming through the inverter down to the batteries, and then this is our DC power. DC power is all of your little LED lights, anything that uses 12-volt power. So if I turn on the interior lights in this camper, you'll see this DC power number start to change. So it went from 250 watts to 375 watts. As I turn them on, that's how much DC power I'm consuming. We're inside now, so we don't have any solar power. If we were outside, you could see power coming in here and charging the batteries. So that's how this operates. If I don't have, regardless of whether you think you're plugged in or not, if there's no number up there in that, then you don't have power coming from that pole. You need to check the breakers outside.
Okay.
If you see this and you've got 0 here and no AC coming out and you can't stuff to run, check your breaker box to make sure you don't have a breaker off.
Okay.
Down there. This number's constantly gonna change. This is your battery and your state of charge. That's gonna fluctuate depending on how you're using it. That'll start to go down as soon as we unplug from power and we don't have a power source. That will start to drop down, and that's going to go 99, 98 and catch that and drop down from there. So everything is pretty much here. There is one thing I would say. So if you touch the screen, it'll bring up pages and menu. If you hit menu, it'll bring you into the individual devices. So I can see right now my Multi+2 inverter is an absorption charge. One thing I would say to do is if you're plugged into your house or you're mooch docking from a friend, you'll need to change the input current limit on your inverter. So I can go here, hit this, and then up or down, and you'll see it change the status. And what that does is that'll keep you from tripping the breakers, maybe on a 15 amp plug or at the pole. You can set that up to 50 amps when you're plugged into 50 amp, or you can leave it at 30 amps and you'll be just fine. It will not save anything until I hit the check mark. So I've hit the check mark and now I'm saved at 28.5 amps, which is not really what I want, but I will set it up to 30.
So whatever I'm plugged into, I should have that input value set.
Yep, and then I just hit the pages menu and it'll come back to the home screen.
Great to know.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm mooch docking off of a family down in Florida and it's hot. I want to run both of my air conditioners. We know I'm a girl, I have to run the hair dryer and everything. Want to microwave my cup of coffee that got cold. So what happens if my AC load exceeds what I'm showing for the shore power?
So when we set the input current limit down to 15 amps, what we saw was with the fireplace on here, we're using more power than we have available. So what the inverter is doing is it's assisting. In other words, it'll take up to 25 amps from the batteries and add them to the 15 amps that you have coming from the mooch docking, and it'll provide power in those times of need. Now you can't run this forever because eventually you're going to run your batteries down, but if you need surge, you need to run the air conditioners for a couple hours, you need to do that, it will assist. Now if we shut those loads off, which we don't need to do that, but if we shut those loads off right now, you'll see it go back from assisting to charging, and it'll go back to charging the battery. It's an intelligent system and it knows. The other thing that you'll probably run into is you see right here there's a leg 1 and a leg 2. leg 1 and leg 2. This is an intelligent system, so it will know when you're plugged into 15 amp power, and that leg 2 is going to go away. It's going to say 0. You still have power to your entire breaker box, but it knows it's not hooked into true 50 amp shore. There is no leg 2 there.
Okay.
But it should assist. Again, set your input current limit down, which, if you want to see that again, was menu, inverter, and then input current limit, and there's a plus and a minus. You can see here, if I turn this up, say to 30, go back to the home screen, and you can see we're no longer assisting.
Okay.
Now I'm bulk charging the batteries and running the fireplace.
Well, I think I am good. I think I can run and go anywhere I want to.
Yep.
If you need more information, you can access our manuals online at KeystoneRV.com. There you will find our quick start guide, I just happen to have one, and the 1320IL basic user guide. We also have for you frequently asked questions to help you along the way.
As with all of our solar systems, monitoring energy consumption is very important. You don't want to consume more energy than you're supplying. So if this happens and you find yourself in a situation where your batteries are running low or you're using too much energy, you're going to need to decide to turn something off or manage what it is that you have.
Great advice, Matt. Just an important note to many of our viewers. Many times when you are using more power than you're replenishing, it's viewed as something is wrong, especially if you're new to solar. So for the first time, you're actually observing your energy consumption. With the display on the wall or the Victron Connect app, you're actually able to see what you're doing now. So you can pay attention to it, and while you're monitoring it, rainy days, sunny days, I can make energy consumption decisions and turn things off or back on as needed. Maybe run a generator if I need it. It's going to be a week of rain. I have options. That is a huge benefit. Now, we hope you've enjoyed taking a look at our Keystone 1320 IL. What's the IL? Inverted and lithium. This system really gives you, the owner, more options for camping better out there. And if you have enjoyed this video, give us a like and subscribe. From Matt at Future Solutions and all of us here at Keystone RV, thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy camping better.